Yay, we're live. Hi, everyone. I'm Tawdra Kandle. I'm the Assistant Conference Director for the 37th Annual Novelists Inc. Conference, which will take place in St. Pete Beach, Florida, from September 23rd through 26th, 2026. Every year, several hundred NINC members and industry professionals attend our conference for top-tier educational workshops and high-level networking, all in a relaxed beach atmosphere. Mel calls it a beach conference with an educational problem. We would love to have you join us. Please go to ninc.com. That's NINC.com for more information. Without further ado, today I'm interviewing Cidney Swanson, who will be leading a workshop this year called Borrowing Belief. Cidney, thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so happy to be here.
Hey. Tell us a little about your workshop and what inspired you to teach this topic. I'm so excited about it, so I can't wait to hear you talk. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So for the longest time, I was somebody like a lot of us who practiced affirmations, daily affirmations. And what I was noticing over time was that one or two would come along that either I had thought up or somebody had encouraged me to say, and it just didn't resonate. In fact, it kind of grated. And I realized after doing this for a couple of years, oh, I get what's grating. It's that I don't like stating things that aren't true. And it didn't matter that maybe it might be true in the future. Just for me personally, that was a huge problem. So it meant I would come to my affirmations every day and I would feel like, ugh, it just feels icky. It just didn't feel good. So I kind of stepped away from doing any kind of affirmations really for at least a year. And then one day when I was talking to somebody about how my business was going, how the sales part of being a writer was going, I realized that I was kind of being pretty negative in the things that I was saying. And then almost immediately, I was on the phone with a friend talking about miles and points for like flying in hotels. And I realized, wow, I speak with such confidence when it comes to the getting and having and using of miles and points. Where does that confidence come from? That's interesting. And then over time, I realized I've got this set of beliefs that's incredibly supportive. It is ironclad, and it has to do with the confidence that I have in that area of there will always be miles and points. I'm never going to run out of them. I'm never going to have a hard time finding them. And I thought, now, wouldn't that be an interesting exercise if I tried to, kind of borrow that belief onto how I think about my writing career?
Ah, great. And you're going to elaborate on that and tell us how it's all worked. Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to ask you to give away the farm here or if, we no spoilers, no spoilers. But can you share one practical tip or insight that attendees might expect to walk away from your workshop with?
Um, yeah, what I want to be able to do is to help people realize that there are things already that you have a high level of confidence in. And what we're going to work on then is identifying those things that you have that high level of confidence, that thing on which you could speak forever because you know it all. And it could be omelet making. Honestly, it could be, growing orchids. It could be any number of, I mean, miles and points. Are you kidding me? Weird, right? But the idea is by the time you step out of the workshop, you should have a transferable skill that you have thought about, put some thought into, and the understanding of how that could then cross over to another area of your writing life where maybe you don't have the confidence that you wish that you had.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and that's really helpful for me. So, oh, that's giving me a lot to think about. I like it. Who, if you think you are a NINC member and you have been, a regular conference attender, so you know pretty much who comes to the event. When you think about that, what kind of person would you say, oh, you absolutely should come to my
Oh,
workshop?
I love that. I love that. Well, the first kind of person would be somebody who, like me, has had that sense of, oh, these affirmations just great. They don't feel good. That's an obvious person. I would say, though, that anybody who has an area in their writing life where they're having a lot of struggle, where they're noticing, wow, I've got a lot of negative self-talk around this area. And honestly, I mean, Tawdra, that could be anything. It could be, how are your sales going? It could be, where are my ideas when I need them? It could be, I'm really having trouble writing fight scenes, and yet I write action adventure thrillers. I mean, it could be a lot of areas where we just run into doubt that can at times, I don't want to say cripple us, but it can sure act as a roadblock.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it doesn't have to be how you're selling. It can be how you're creating, and just, how you're interacting with your readers. And yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. So as I said, you are a regular at the conferences. Do you know how many NINC conferences you've been to?
Whatever was the first St. Pete Beach that happened after the North Carolina or South Carolina one.
Okay. Yeah,
that was my first one. And so
okay.
I'm thinking like over 12 years, maybe
Yeah,
14, something like that.
Yeah, wow. You are part of the OG. I'm sure you were just a mere babe in arms when that happened.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So what brings you back every year, and what are you most looking forward to this year?
Every year, I know I've got a high level of confidence that I'm gonna learn things that I'm not gonna learn anywhere else. There are things that I'm not gonna pick up from webinars. There are things that I'm not gonna pick up from even, I'm in some pretty nice masterminds, but I know that I'm gonna find some new stuff happening at NINC every year, and it's gonna be cutting edge too. Whether that is learning about, what's the latest in audiobook recording, or how can I increase my return on ad spend on a specific platform. There's always going to be something. And then, the craft ones are really fun because they're at such a high level. So it's very different from other writing conferences that I might attend, where it's not high level craft, if that, without sounding too snotty about it.
No, but after you've written a certain amount of books, we all have room for craft growth, but you're right. There is, a higher level.
I really appreciate that high level. Yeah. And of course, I'm looking forward to seeing the sand and the beach.
And all the friends who you usually see.
And all the friends. Oh my goodness. How did I not put that first? Yeah. No, absolutely.
The friends who are on the sand. Yes, they're on the sand with you, so that's okay. We'll let you go there. So anyway, well, that is awesome, and we are so excited that you're presenting this year, and we're just looking forward to seeing you at St. Pete Beach between now and then, which we have about 4 months, 3 months. Where can people kind of, anybody who's watching this video and says, oh my gosh, I want to know more about this even before the conference, where can they follow you or get to know more about you?
Absolutely. So the easiest place to find me is going to be my website, CidneySwansonBooks.com. And that is geared towards my young adult sci-fi and fantasy. I'm on Instagram, as often as the mood strikes me. And Facebook a little bit less. And those are pretty much my social platforms right there. So.
Okay, well, that's great. And everybody will be looking for you. And we should say that Cidney is with a C, Sidney, when they're looking for you. So there we go.
CID.
Okay, what did I say? C. All right, whatever she said is right. Whatever I said, don't listen to. Between the head and the lips, you just don't know what's going to happen. If you are interested in joining us and attending Cidney's sessions at the 37th Annual NINC Conference, please go to ninc.com, NINC.com, for more information and to purchase your ticket. Thanks again, Cidney, and we will see you in September at the beach.